Hello, sacred beings of light and dark. Welcome back to week 16 of Solstice Echoes. This week, there have been different but closely related themes coming through. I was thinking about personal truths, about the creation of realities with our words, about the ways that we use labels and descriptions, and also about something I call consciously unconscious. I think in general what I want to talk about is to be more aware of the ways that we are creating in the world, more aware of what we create through our words, through our consciousness or unconsciousness, and the ways that we are able to both be in our own truths and allow the truths of others. Can we be more flowing and integrating than rigid and standing still, of not being able to accept or willing to hear the truths of others? And are we willing to understand that today's truth is tomorrow's falsity? The truth really only exists in this moment and in the creations of our words, through the creations of our words. But with particular regard to being what I call consciously unconscious, there are two qualities that I want to speak about. The first is that there is a protective element in being consciously aware, but unconsciously understanding of that awareness. This has particular significance for me and my life, in that I have an awareness that things are happening through me. I feel it, I sense it. I have a sensory understanding of it, and yet I do not fully comprehend what it is that I'm doing or accomplishing. And yet I feel that it's important. So it's like I'm aware and I'm not aware at the same time. And the fact that those pieces of what I'm not aware of are not of particular significance. So there's as I say, a protective element in that way. On a slightly similar but different aspect, I'm also aware of creating from this space, and that my unawareness of what I'm creating also protects what I'm creating. That if I knew what it was exactly that I was creating and in the ways that I was creating it, it could have an impact on what was actually being created. So I'm not sure whether you'll understand these perspectives that I have of myself, but I wanted to share and talk about them a little bit. So there's these two aspects of both protecting from myself in a way and protecting things from others as they develop and nurture themselves. You might liken this to ideas that you come up with and you're still in the process of creating them, but you don't necessarily share them quite yet because they're still in that development process. And to share them can sometimes shut them down rather than allowing them to further grow. I think there's also an element of not knowing what is being created, not having words to put to what's being created, and then trying to make sense of that creation after the fact. I guess what I'm alluding to here is that I've had experiences in the past where I had these sensations or experiences that were so out of my realm of understanding or so impactful on my life, or the energies were just out of the realm of my current experiences, and I didn't know how to explain them. And as other people talked about similar experiences, it was then that I became aware of how I could label my experiences. However, in the process of wanting to label and wanting to know and wanting to describe and make sense of it all for myself, in some ways it diminished the experience itself. It took on an addictive quality where I was searching and trying to define, and yet that searching and trying to define had no meaning for the experience itself. I'm not sure if I'm conveying my message in a coherent way today, but I'm giving it a try. And I'm hesitant to speak exactly of what I'm referring because it is of a private nature. But maybe I will say that I believe that I embarked on the twin flame journey for myself before I even knew what a twin flame journey was. And I came to find that it was a journey for myself, if not for another. But at least I claim it for myself. And the experiences that I encountered that I was trying to find an explanation for. And in the end, the most important thing was not to label it, not to describe it, but to feel and to experience what was occurring for myself. So as we're in this period of really changing what we do in the world, whether we work or not, how we work, how we're able to share our ideas together, to merge our truths, or to be apart in our truths. I think I encourage us to find places where we just be in our experiences and not try to define those labels. To feel what is unconscious and to sense into whether that needs to be defined, whether that needs to be shared, and why. If it needs to be shared, can it remain intact on the path and trajectory that it was meant to? Will your experiences be enhanced by sharing it with others? Or is there a chance that what is trying to be created will be disrupted or destroyed in that sharing? And for a moment, I'm thinking back on last week and the dragon bubbles that I spoke of. And I was thinking about these bubbles as truths, and whether your bubbles of truth around you can accept other bubbles within that truth. Or maybe your truth bubble needs to be popped such that you join other people's truth bubbles, or perhaps expand with other people's truth bubbles. So I think I've gathered into sufficiently different avenues in today's discussion, and I hope that you receive something of this, of value for you this week, as I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.